Hi, everyone, and welcome. It's my pleasure today to introduce Arvy Rajasekaran, who is the CIO for Enterprise Architecture at Ally Financial. He's based in Charlotte, and we've had a great partnership with Arvy and his team, and we're going to get going with a few questions about work practices at Ally Financial. So, Arvy, first, briefly describe the kind of work you do at Ally.
Hello, Gary. Hello, everyone. I've been in technology for about 22 years. The last 12 years has been at Ally. I was the digital CIO for about 5 years, and now I'm the CIO of Enterprise Architecture for the last year and a half. As the CIO of Enterprise Architecture, my team focuses on laying out the technology strategy for the organization and making sure that we stay competitive, we stay on the cutting edge of technology, enabling platforms and technologies that drive the business.
Great, thank you. How does you're an IT professional, but how is technology, and especially advanced technologies, affecting knowledge work in in your enterprise? I mean, you're leading this, so give us any sort of perspective you can.
Yeah. I think knowledge work has been evolving over the last decade and a half. And there's a lot of advancements in technology that continue to enable and drive improvements in the area. So when I think about that, a few things that come to mind. One is the advance in AI, artificial intelligence, and what that does to enable knowledge work. So one of the ways that it enables it is helps take away some of the mundane tasks and start to predict things that can be predicted and lessen the workload and the cognitive load of knowledge workers so that they can focus more on higher order things and real problem solving that is really the domain of humans. Another thing that comes to mind is automation. So that kind of works on the other end of the spectrum on things that don't require any type of additional cognitive load and just automate things that are repetitive within the workforce. The third thing that I think about is discoverability of data and knowledge. So with the rise of all the different mechanisms that we have to consume knowledge, within the enterprise and outside the enterprise, we have an incredible amount of data and knowledge that's out there. So one way to drive our enterprise, and any enterprise for that matter, is to ensure that the right data is available to everybody that needs to have the data, and it's a quality data and it's consumable. Because the more we get the data out, everybody is able to consume it, the knowledge of the enterprise increases, and that ultimately helps everybody advance the goals and missions of the organization.
Well, that's terrific. The points about sort of managing cognitive load and, of course, data flows are just essential. And thank you for highlighting that. The COVID pandemic has affected us all, but how has it affected work practices at Ally?
Yeah, the last 22 months of this COVID pandemic have been very interesting. I think Ally, much like every other organization, when we went into it, nobody knew how long this was going to last. We were one of the first organizations to make the call to send everybody home for the safety and soundness of our associates and have everybody work from home. So I kind of look at it in maybe three tranches. The early days was all about making sure that our associates and our customers are safe, and our dealerships, and everything we need to do to support them through that early process, making sure our technology is safe and sound and able to scale for everybody working from home at the same time. What are our work practices that we needed to kind of think through? The second tranche was when everybody kind of realized we're kind of in this for the long haul. So how do we make sure that everybody is able to operate for the long haul from home what are the challenges they have in terms of dealing with family, sick relatives, or maybe they're getting sick themselves with COVID, the mental strain and drain of having to work from home, and just kind of dealing through that and supporting our associates through that was kind of the second tranche. The third was, the stage where we are now, which is, okay, we're starting to get back into the office. And that's an area where, we're starting to think about what is the new ways of work? What did we learn from COVID? And what do we implement now coming back into the office? We're not coming back to the same environment that we went into. Not everybody's going to be in the office 9 to 5, and that office is not the only place where work happens. So how do we deal with this new norm? How do we encourage employees to kind of get into a hybrid work schedule where sometimes they're in the office, sometimes they're not? How to make it an inclusive environment so everybody can participate, even if they're not in the room. And those are the kind of things that we're thinking about today.
That's terrific. Thank you. Really well organized thoughts about that. And then finally, what kind of advice would you give to students here at SILS as they prepare themselves for professional practice in the future?
Yeah, that's a great question, Gary. And so when I kind of reflect on my career and people that I talk to, my expectation of what workplace was going to be or what type of work I would be doing 22 years ago could not have predicted where I am today or the path that I took to get to where I am today. So the best advice I can give is be open to change, be willing to take risk, don't settle, and always challenge yourself to go after things. And in taking calculated risks and putting yourself in a position where you're learning more on a daily basis is the best path to adapting to an enterprise and also your own career growth.
Wow, terrific. That's wonderful advice. Really appreciate this. Arvy, thank you so much. It's wonderful working with you and your colleagues. And I look forward to a lot of collaborations in the months and years ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. I love the partnership we have at SILS. Thank you.